Good morning, everybody. This is Broadway Bob, the Lone Star Reporter. Today, we're going to talk about a subject matter that's about the DART. All right, the Carrollton residents are talking about Dallas Area Rapid Transit, better known as DART. Supporters say DART plans on an important role in connecting Carrollton to the greater Dallas Fort Worth area. With rail bus service, residents can reach jobs, schools, medical appointments, and major destinations without relying on a car. City leaders also point to DART as a tool for development. What's the problem is that people think that the local sales tax could be better used for other things, like is the safety of the station usage and whether the system provides enough benefit to suburban communities like Carrollton. Some North Texas cities are now exploring ways that they can keep DART around or make it go away. No decisions have been made yet, and any major changes could require careful study and community input. As always, we encourage residents to stay informed, attend city meetings, and make their voices heard. All right. So here's the problem. Um, DART, supposedly DART is very expensive. Okay. Um, it's 1% of the sales tax goes into DART, and it pays for the usage, and so that they can pay for the bills of DART. Right, it's all included in the taxes. But the problem is that DART also takes away funding. This is the argument that it takes away funding from other projects like road repairs or community upkeep or opening other things, doing other things that they can use the money for. Um, and they say there's just not enough utilization of the DART system. So why keep it around if nobody's using it? And the reason why they say that people aren't using it because they don't feel safe on the DART. They say there's too much crime. There's too many uh, homeless people hanging around. People who are loitering just makes them feel unsafe when they're trying to get on the DART system. So they don't use it. Um, Myself, I don't. I've never will use it. Never have. Never will. I don't like public transportation myself because I don't feel safe on it for myself. So, yeah. So I won't use it. Um, I like driving my car. I like being in my car. But what about those people who don't have a car? Well, they use the dart. They use dart, right? And there's other people who are on dart, like a lot of homeless people get on dart, and some of them they've been given free access to dart if they're homeless, so they can get around, travel from here to there, while the rest of us got to pay for it. So my taxes go to pay for dart, and I don't even use the daggum system. Like I said, it's probably never will. Don't intend to ever. I don't even like taking buses. So I'm very appalled at using public transportation. The characters that you meet on some of these things are less than reputable. So I just don't do it. Don't recommend to my family to ever do it. So there you go. I mean, if you want to use Dart, hey, I get it. Fine. You can go from point A to point B rather quickly, and you don't have to be in traffic. Hey, there's a good argument, right? Right there. Stay out of the traffic. Because traffic around here is horrendous. It truly is. You get yourself killed just driving down the road. So, but again, um, it's not for me. It might be for you. Maybe there might be people who, the cities, when businesses want to come into an area, they look for the availability of people to get around the city. They would have a chance to come into the city by which means. And if there's a train station around, a DART station, and it has a main uh, through a thoroughfare right there, then they get a chance to say, okay, if I open up this business, I will have access to people who are coming in on train or buses and automobiles, right? And people who don't drive, they can get on the train and head down to. So when businesses open, large businesses open someplace, they look for availability of the consumer and how is the consumer going to get into their location. So having a train is a great, you know, advertisement to get businesses. But at the same time, you also get people loitering, um, who might be on the train who got nothing better to do than to cause trouble. You know, so I look at it. It's a double-edged sword. I can't make recommendations one way or the other because that's not what I'm here to do. I'm just here to give you an opinion person, because I'm an opinionated individual. I got my opinions and I stick to them. Sometimes you can talk me out of my opinions if you come up with the right argument. You might get me to say, shake my head and go, you know what? I didn't think about that. That's an interesting concept. Maybe I was wrong. You know, and I'm the kind of person that if I'm wrong, hey, I'm going to admit it. If I'm wrong, I admit it. I don't have a problem with saying that I'm wrong. Um, it's when people are so stubborn, you know, they're the ones who are in policy, like people who are in the position to write policy, like local politicians or anybody else. When you start writing policy, and then it turns out to be that that wasn't the greatest thing in the world, but you can't apologize for it, or you won't accept the fact that it was wrong, and just say, you know what, I made a mistake. Um, yeah, we need to correct that. We don't get that anymore. People are people who are politicians are controlled by the public opinion. So if you got a bunch of people who are out there being paid to protest, paid protesters, right, or whatever, and encouraged to go out, and they got nothing to do because they ain't working. I mean, you know, you see all these people who are protesting everywhere about politics and stuff, and you say, where do they work? Obviously, they not working. If they got time to be out there days in and days out and protesting, they don't got a job. They got nothing to do. And in some cases, we call them paid protesters because they're getting paid by somebody to do that. Like these big giant protests, like Black Lives Matter and stuff. You know, George Soros. You know, blah blah. I know. What the hell you talking about George Soros for? We're talking about Carrollton. No, I'm just talking about things in general right now. So, but Carrollton has a problem too. We all have problems. Every place you go is going to have its share of problems. My point is this: when you have public transportation, whether you admit it or not, it can also be detrimental in some cases. It is expensive. It is a magnet for the homeless or people who cause trouble on trains. I don't get it. Okay, I don't get it. That's how people are, though. I don't get it. Personally, I think being responsible for your actions is one thing that we lack anymore. And I was told when I was in the military and I was overseas that I, as an individual, I was an individual ambassador of the United States of America. So anything that I did was seen by the local communities as either a nice thing or an awful thing. So my actions and the way I carried myself could be detrimental to the United States of America because of what I portray as an American citizen. So if you're outside as an American citizen and you're in a foreign country and anywhere too, but just for the sake of what we're talking about right now, foreign country, I'm a representative. I represent the United States if you're in the military, or even if you're not. If you're an American citizen and you're going over to another country, you are the best representative of the United States. So if you're out there causing trouble and stuff, well, what you just represented is a country that sucks. The people have no manners. That's what you represent. That's what they see. Your visual representation is America sucks. And if you're out there protesting about, oh, I don't like what they're doing in America. Oh, it's a racist place. You got enough of that on CNN. We got enough of that on the local news. You know, when you go overseas, Excuse me for that. When you go overseas and you're in the airport or wherever, one station they got a TV station on it. It's always CNN, and CNN will portray America as a bad place, as a bad place. They show only the bad things on news. They don't ever show anything good that America. So the opinion that people have around the world of America is that America is a terrible place, and that the American people are horrible. And that's maybe because of a few people who act stupid when they're overseas, or because of CNN and news stations like that who represent the United States in a bad light. You can't help but see it when you go overseas. If you've ever been overseas, you know I'm right, because you when you were in the airport, CNN is they don't Fox News is not on when you go to the airports right down here. Fox News is not on. CNN is ABC, CNB, MSNBC, but all the liberal news stations, the news hacks, they're on. But anything that's good, like Fox News, they're not on. And I know there's people out there saying Fox News sucks. Fox News. Yeah, well, this CNN sucks too. So there you go. Have at it, buddy. Mm. Yeah, you want to know where I am? I'm at Broadway Barber, downtown Carrollton. Come see me if you don't like what I say. I got something for you. I really do. I really do. But come on. You can say whatever you want, but I know that I'm right because I've been through it already. I have been overseas many, many times, and I see it everywhere I go. I remember when I was in Germany, and when I was in the military, and some of my people that some of my unit personnel were out downtown in the local. It was Kitzingen. It was in Kitzingen, Germany. They were in Kitzingen, and they were downtown, right? And some I can't believe what I was looking at when I saw it, and I was like, I was confounded. It was like the guy decided he was going to take a crap on a car's bumper, and he crapped on the damn bumper of a car, an American. I was like, what the? I decided that I'm not part of this group, so I departed there and I walked away. Um, what I should have really done was got down in his face and told him, "You're a dumbass. You're so stupid. Why do you insist upon making America? We already have a bad reputation, and you just want to add to the reputation of being bad by crapping on somebody's car bumper? Holy crap!" So, but no, I walked away, and I left them there, and I just decided to go back to wherever I needed to be. But it wasn't with them because they were not representing the America that I like, the one that I love. So, no. Um, and we have choices that we can do. We're Americans. We're humans. We can make choices. A lot of people choose to be stupid. Doesn't make you right, but if you're acting stupid because you're drinking alcohol, please think about what you're doing out there. It's bad enough that we make our own selves look bad in our own communities. Why do we need to spread our badness around the world? It's just stupid. But anyway, let's get back to some local stuff. All right. So there are some referendums that are on the books, and one of them is going to be DART. If you have something to say about DART and you want it to stick around, I guess you need to vote for it. And if you don't think that Carrollton is shedding a lot of money. They were spending a lot of money out there on DART, and it's underutilized in Carrollton. And but all the choices that are made are not in Carrollton. They're made more or less in out of Dallas. But yet we're flipping the bill. It's kind of like the thing that's going on in Canada right now, where the western provinces in Canada want to do the Wexit. They want to get out of Canada and become parts of, or either maybe become separate individual states, or become part of the United States. And it's getting closer and closer to being, they want to separate and become part of the United States because they're not being represented by the eastern side, by like Quebec and Ontario, where all the rules are coming from, right? Where they're paying all the money into the federal government and they're getting little back for it. And they feel left out. And they got nothing to say about it because the ones that are in control are normally in Quebec and Ontario. So most of the western provinces, they want out. It's the same thing here in Carrollton. And it's just a microcosm of some of the bigger stuff that's going on. We are being dictated to how we're going to spend our money by the larger community, like Dallas, right? We're spending a lot of money on it, but we're getting little out of it. So it's like, do you punish the many, or do you punish the few for the many, or something of that nature? A lot of people don't use dark, obviously, but a few do. So the numbers say that we should just get out of it. But do you punish those who really need dart? You know, and those are personal questions that you have to answer yourself, not from Broadway Bob. Broadway Bob says, search your souls, search what you need, and vote for it that way. If you want to keep it because you use it, fine. If you want to get rid of it because you don't use it, you don't believe in it, like myself, fine. Um, it's a good thing I don't live in Carrollton. I just work here. I just pay the Carrollton taxes. I don't live here, but I pay the Carrollton taxes. Shit, go figure that. Yeah, I gotta pay all the Carrollton taxes, and I don't live here, so I don't have a horse in the race. You know. That also that also comes down to another thing. All my taxes that I pay for Carrollton, where does it go? It goes into the schools. It's supposed to go into local communities, but it goes into the schools. And I'm paying for free meals and all this other crap for a bunch of illegal aliens. And yours truly, Broadway Bob, does not like illegal aliens. Okay, I have nothing against the illegal aliens. I don't like the fact that they get to come here and receive all the benefits of a citizen and without even putting into it. Okay, that's like saying that I got a farm and there's other farms in the area, right? And I'm putting out I'm doing all I can to get the food out. You know, harvesting my vegetables and stuff, and getting everything out of the farm and getting it into the market. So all the people in there, but all the other farmers aren't doing that. And I'm the one that's working real hard to get it in there, and everybody else is taking it, and I'm getting nothing for it, right? So, like I said, I keep saying harping on this. You got people who are coming into this country legally that have been shunned. They get nothing out of coming here legally. But if you're an illegal alien, you're getting everything. So you break the law, and we reward you for breaking the law, but yet the people who are standing in line trying to do it right, they get crapped on. They get nothing, and their line becomes longer and longer because we don't have room to allow them in, and they're being scrutinized real hard. Illegal aliens just come in here and they get access to everything for free. For free, people, for free. I pay for it, you pay for it, and they get it. And they didn't do nothing to get it. They didn't earn it. They didn't put into it, but yet they receiving everything. And while they're here, they're not putting. I know you said, well, them Mexicans, they work hard. I got news for you. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. They don't work hard. Anybody who tells you that, oh, man, their work ethic is above and beyond. No, no, I've seen it. It's not. Their work ethic is not above and beyond. I don't care what you say. It's not. And then you people who are out there going picking up these people down there, on Harry Hines to come work in your places above Americans because you don't want to pay the prices and you want to get these Mexicans to work for you for cheaper. Shame on you. The government should be putting you down. They should be charging you fines for doing that. If you hire an illegal alien, they should fine you and close you down. They should. Why should you be rewarding a Mexican or anybody else from Honduras, anybody that's coming across that border illegally and giving them a job, and you're kicking an American out of a job? Thank you very much, you dumb fucks. You know, you're stupid. You got no, your only concern is about your own freaking pocket, not about America. When are you going to think like that? You got to put Americans first, but you don't. You put your stinking pockets first. I have people come here and want to get a job, and they're not Americans, and they want to get a job. They don't even speak freaking English, and they want to get a job. I tell them, pound outside, buddy. Get down the street. Go. I got a job before over there. Well, go back over there and get your damn job, because you ain't getting a job from me. I'm an American. I am not hiring an illegal alien. Get your ass out of here. I don't like it. Okay, that's me personally. Maybe you go for it. You people who don't care, who don't love America, keep doing what you're doing, because you're screwing all Americans, and you're helping a bunch of. And that's what we got a bunch of problems here for. So we got a lot of people coming into this country or came into this country so they can feed off the tits of Americans. Well, suck. That sucks. And Americans suffer. But you people who do this stuff, you you look at it and say, well, it's not their, well, they're good workers. Americans, well, if Americans don't want to work, then they don't need anything. You know, welfare is the worst system we ever put into the system, into America. So now we got people who are paid to sit at home and do nothing. They're sitting at home and they don't want to work. Welfare is a terrible system. It rewards laziness. You know, laziness. It rewards laziness. People say, why should I go to work when I get paid more money for sitting on my ass? That's true. That's what a welfare has done. We've given them more to sit on their ass and become lumps on a log, no more than a wart on a board, right? So, yeah, laziness. That's something I don't believe in. Laziness. I can't see how people want to sit around all day and do nothing but protest. So you can get more money. So you protest because you don't like what's going on, because they're forcing you. See, that's where Donald Trump is so great. He took SNAP away. He's taking a few other things away, forcing people to go. Either you're going to get the hell out of this country because you're not getting that free crap anymore, or you're going to go to work. And you Americans that want to sit on your ass, you American citizens who want to sit on your ass and grab money out of the American economy from my pocket. Donald Trump says, no, that ain't happening. I love it. I love it. I love it. And for you, all those people who are Donald Trump haters, there's a few words I like to say to you, but I can't say them because then I'll be looked at as a racist. First thing that comes out of people's mouth, you're a racist. I can't be racist, dumbasses. The United States military says that I'm colorblind. If I'm colorblind, I can't be racist. Hallelujah. Ain't that the smartest thing you ever heard? I'm colorblind. I can't be racist. But if I have a different opinion than you do, I'm racist. It's amazing. Opinions are racist. Wow. If I have a different opinion than you or a different thought process than you, I'm a racist. But that's when people say like that because they don't have an argument for anything. Well, you're racist. Well, you got no argument, do you? Well, you're still racist. Well, where's your rebuttal? Well, you're still racist. Okay, thank you. See, stupid people talk about race. Stupid people who don't have an argument or an answer for an argument, is that, oh, you're racist. I'm sorry, man, but I can't be racist. I'm colorblind. 85% of men are colorblind. So 85% of men are not racist. Women might be, but men can't be because we're colorblind. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. How about that? Anyway, people, it's time to go to work. Actually, I was supposed to open my shop 10 minutes ago. So I better go. Y'all take care. God bless and have fun. Amen.